Hello, welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. It is Tuesday, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot some videos if these flies don't start attacking. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like this video, please push like and share it with your family, friends, neighbors, enemies, etc. If you want to support this channel by doing memberships, you can join the first level or the second level that I now have, which is basically for people that want to go on live streams and chat. I'm going to do that twice a month, but I will have free chats too, okay? It's $4.99. That's what I did. I had 2 more levels, but I deleted, but I'm not going to. I just need a second. I'm almost there. I just shot a video, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see if it's rumbling and thundering in the background because it wasn't the last video. So this one is about what happened on Thanksgiving this last year at FMC Butner. And I was thinking, I was going along with the bigger picture, and what this is about dead man's property, actually. But there's a story that goes with it that gets us there. Here it is. There's a guy named Bill Dunn that's been down about 40 years in the feds. Political, I forgot what party. He's not the Communist Party. Revolutionary type of guy. He was trying to break one of his comrades out, and I think that's what he got charged for. I really want to get Bill on, by the way. I do know him. I just left him at Butner. Very, very super smart guy. Maybe his actions people wouldn't think that by his actions, helping break somebody out. By the way, everybody's out of prison but him. Highly intelligent, well-read, and I've never in my life met a policy wonk as far as Bureau of Prisons policy better than Bill Dunn. Bill Dunn was at Butner on C Range, a couple cells down from me, and he lived with a guy out of Las Vegas called Cowboy. Cowboy's background, he had attempted murders he beat. The feds would probably call him a major con man that would go to extremes of killing people for insurance reasons or whatever. He was in there for wire fraud when I was there. This is not the first time he's been in prison. But here's what goes down. This is Thanksgiving Day, just this last year. And I need to add here that the meals, usually on holidays in the feds, are really good. Back in the day, the food was phenomenal in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. I've talked about this endlessly. The first letter I ever wrote my mom from Leavenworth was talking about how good the food was. And it was just, it was so good. It got progressively worse. The Obama administration. Thanks, Michelle Obama, as everybody would say. A lot of people were blaming Michelle for it because she was doing school kid lunches and all that. And then she took out our fryers. They were blaming Michelle. Okay? Damn flies. So anyway, there was an officer, and I do know his name, and I'm not going to put him out there. He's a younger guy. Black dude. He's fly for a black guy. And I like him. Wears some jewelry. You know, he's a young guy. I think he's 23, who is making government money, proud of his job, will tell you that I'm not going to bother you guys outside of what he's required to do. I'm not going to bother you guys if you don't bother me. Some days he just doesn't want anybody to bother him at all. Okay? But anyway, so here's what he does. During the meals, they usually hand out tickets for holiday meals. And this is what I'm talking about. Like a little ticket for a fair, or you go on a ride or whatever. They would come around and give people tickets. Generally, they would do it during count time, and they'd go to each cell and give everybody a ticket. This correctional officer, maybe hungover from the night before, I don't know, just tired, whatever, just whatever he's got going. Maybe he had 2 jobs. Decides that he's not going to give out the tickets during the count. On the weekends, by the way, I need to point this out. We have on the weekends and on holidays, we have what's called the 10 o'clock mandatory stand-up count. They didn't enforce the stand-up too much at the hospital because some people couldn't stand. But he makes an announcement and tells people as he's opening the door, go to the core, center core, go to center core. So there's 4 wings, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, and then there's a center where the computer systems are and stuff. So he goes by Bill Dunn's and Cowboy's cell. Bill Dunn is fanatical about working out, is fanatical about cleaning his cell, and he works out every time that there's a lock-in count, okay? So the rooms are big enough. But he always had his shirt off. And he can strike you as a strange bird, okay? Cowboy acts like a cowboy, very arrogant, total asshole, okay? Got a mouth on him. But what happens is they didn't hear this officer come and say, hey, go to Center Court. So he was saying, go to Center Court because I'm going to give out tickets. So here's what goes down. Dude makes an announcement about don't bother this, don't do this. If you guys get caught smoking K2, you're all getting locked up. That's what our lieutenant said, because K2 is just off the chain and people are falling out all over the place. So just stay out of my way, you stay out of yours. By the way, stand up here, stand in line and give you tickets. So he gives everybody tickets, and Bill Dunn and his cellie never showed up. At that point, this cop says, hey, listen, if there's some scragglers, you guys got about 1 minute to come get these tickets, or I'm going to sell them for flat books. A flat book of stamps, they're going for like $13.60 in the feds right now. But a flat book, stamps, by the way, is our currency in prison. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but you buy stamps for $13.60, but then they become not worth more than $6. That's for 20 stamps. Stamps are like 25 cents, even though they're like 60 something, 70 something cents, whatever it is right now. I don't want to get into that right now, but it seems lopsided, but it works. So what he's saying is, I can get flat books, brand new stamps in a flat book. That's how they come for these tickets. And he could have. Oh, people will give 2 books of stamps all day. Maybe a flat book for that and 2 books of regular stamps. I'm not going to get into that again. So he could have for sure. And there is such a thing where there is correctional officers that go get stamps and trade them in. There's companies that buy postage stamps, okay? So there's been a lot of officers caught overdoing this. So he's just smart enough. Anyway, Bill Dunn and I'm sorry, I stopped because there's nobody down there. It's like empty, but I see somebody that way. So here's what happens. Bill Dunn and Cowboy find out that we all got tickets. I'm sorry. Excuse me for doing that. And Bill's like a vegan on a vegan diet. So this is Thanksgiving. By the way, the Thanksgiving meal was the bomb. Turkey, all the regular Thanksgiving meal, dressing, stuffing, but it was really good, okay? I was also an orderly, and we have trays sent up for sick and dying people, but there's extra ones. So I was getting one anyway. I didn't really care about going down there, but I did go down there and get one too. And the pie was really good too this year. It was pumpkin pie or whatever. So, or last year, I should say. So here's what happens. Bill Dunn finds out and he says, man, they can't do that. That's against policy. We'll file on them if they don't give us a ticket. Cowboy said, fuck that. So he goes up there and when he walks, he's got like a messed up arm, but he walks with his back like swaying like an old cowboy, you know. He walks up there and tells this officer, hey man, we didn't get a ticket. And the dude said, I told you guys. He said, you didn't say nothing. And the officer says, I told you guys to meet us in the center court. He said, you didn't say nothing. I didn't hear it. You didn't tell us. And he goes, well, I don't know what to tell you. They're gone. And Cowboy said something about call the lieutenant. He said, I'm not calling shit. You ain't got nothing coming from me. Now get the fuck away from me. That's what he said. Okay. So Cowboy says, I'm going to file. He says, go file. I don't give a fuck about filing. That's what a lot of the cops will tell you. They care, by the way, in the end. So what goes down is this. He goes back and tells Bill, I, being the orderly that was passing out trays, was trying to come up with extra tray for these dudes. So I go to this officer and I say, listen, man, I said, the dude, Bill, is one of the best legal beagles, policy wonks I've ever come across. He knows what he's got coming. And I'm just letting you know right now, he's really going to file. And he says, man, I don't give a shit. He says, but I'm getting them their tray. He says, I'm ordering their tray right now. And I said, okay. He does. He orders an extra tray because there was a couple short on the cart. So there are the people that cannot go down to chow because they're sick and dying, they get trays, okay? Or just if they're wheelchairs, whatever. But we always got extras and stuff like that. But this was short that day because Thanksgiving and the head orderlies or the orderlies that are passing stuff out, or that's their hustle. They'll steal shit and they'll go sell them, okay? So I go back and I tell Bill and Cowboy, listen, the dude's ordering you a tray. Here comes the cop. He goes and locks them in their cell. Now, this is a holiday. There's a lot of events going on. Well, there's like bocce ball tournament, talent show, pool tournament, a walking tournament. You know, there's different things going on. And because Cowboy's mouth, he went and he locked them in their cells. But he did not tell them that he brought their food coming up. Well, sure enough, the trays come up. And they did sit for like 2 hours, okay? And got cold. And it was wrong for the officer to do that, but I watched it. He didn't even mean to. He literally forgot. He got sidetracked and did something else, okay? So that's what happened. Is right or wrong or indifferent, that's what happened. Damn, I'm getting bombarded right now by flies. So Bill, the cop brings the food to the cell. He brings the wrong stuff to Bill. Bill doesn't care at this point. He's got a BPA. He's got the grievance process started. A couple days goes by, and they call Bill and Cowboy up to the upstairs counselor's office, whatever. And it was a very serious, he wrote him up, staff misconduct. I mean, he wrote this dude up. And they said, what do you want? What Bill? He said, we didn't get our food. He said, you want food? One of the counselors, I'm not going to name who it was. He said, yeah. And he goes, okay, how about this? You say that we solved this. You got to sign off saying resolve this. And in exchange, what we'll give you is whatever you want over here. Opens it up, and it's candy. The candy and the food, and other food, all comes from guys that have recently passed away. So when guys die, if inmates, their friends don't get it, or the guys that are dying don't pass stuff out first, the policies lock the door. If the products are open, or like a 6-pack is a 3-pack or something, the counselors will say, listen, to the guys that are cleaning the cells out, you keep the stuff that's open, give us everything that's sealed. We're going to send it back to their families. They never send the foods back to their food and stuff back to their families. As a matter of fact, Butner, years ago, I had an issue when the staff took my radio, messed up some property. I filed on him, and they had a closet with all the dead people stuff. And I thought it was a little bit sick and morbid. I since changed my mind. It doesn't really matter, they're dead. They're not going to want their property anyway. But what they end up solving, or they resolved this issue by giving Bill and Cowboy all kinds of candy. That's what it was. It was just junk food. And which, you know, Bill turned around and traded for health food, I do believe, because that's how Bill was. But just a little story about trading. Well, there's a lot in that story, I guess you could say. A lot or nothing at all, I don't know. But about trading dead man's property for to resolve the issue, I guess. I got to think how I'm going to title this one. Anyway, take care. Yeah, that's all.